So we got married in October, and that's kind of when we sent the first email right after we got married. And it was February, and we were still talking to him. I don't want to say March, so October, November, December, January, February, like 5, 6 months wasted. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And kind of like collecting paperwork too, because he was like, okay, so now you can get us your birth certificate. Okay, I sent it to him. And then, okay, can you send me now a picture of your passport? Okay. Oh, and then he was like, no, hold on. Like, I want you to talk to my assistant first. And it was like a conversation between him, the assistant, also the medical questions too about like all the requirements we needed. So it was like it was a mess. It was a mess. I was like, I'm going through like one form and he's asking from one I'm asking one type of information, then the other one, like yeah, I couldn't just follow that. So it was around like 6 months that we wasted. A friend of mine, she said like, so I have a friend, he's a lawyer and he can help you, blah blah blah. And it took me a while to get in contact with him because like I first sent him an email, I got an answer saying that he was busy, and it was like kind of hard to get to talk to him. And then I decided just to follow my intuition. I was like, there's something off here, like that I do not like. Like I would send an email asking question, and then like I wouldn't like I would have to wait like 3 weeks to have a short answer, or like I don't know. So I was like, no, this is not what I want. Like, if for some reason every time that they would answer back, I would end up crying. I was like, this is not okay. Like, this process should not be like this. Like, I felt like every answer was like negative, like no, because I asked like, is it? I've heard that there's like a travel permit, blah blah blah, and they were like, yeah, but you should not take it because it's gonna cost you more money,
Which was not the
which
truth.
the travel permit it was free,
Yeah.
and besides that, like there are more chances for them to deny it, or it's going to take longer the case. So we're like, no, like this is not what I want, like, and we were thinking about it. So, and then I don't know, I just got like, I think I found your account through TikTok. It was just like scrolling, and I was like, oh, she seems nice, and she seems like she knows. And I joined a live video, and people were asking questions, and everything was like so clear, and I really resonate with that. I was like, yeah, I feel like that's the path that I want to follow. So, and then I look it up more information and Instagram and the website and everything. And then I talked to Chris, and he was like, no, no, what if it's a scam? Like, I don't want to do it. And I was like, what if it's not? Like, and so I'm originally from Chile. So I always like, it's hard for me to trust different stuff because I know about like scams. And she was like, no, but here it's not like the way it is there. Like, if the person is a lawyer, or like they're gonna have a license and everything. I was like, okay, let's see if there's a license or something. And then I saw like the testimonies, or people like talking about like how happy they were working with you and how easy the program was. So then I think I sent you an inbox and told you about like kind of like my story and everything. And still, I think it like after like a month, maybe 2 months, like I got like we got to talk to him. Like I was like, you told me about the free call and to kind of like explain the process and how this thing would work. And then once I talked to him, he was like, okay, like it's a free call, like we have nothing to lose. And we were just talking to you in those like first 10 minutes. And he was like, thumbs up, like, yes. And I was like, okay. I usually just follow my heart. I know when something is right. I know when something is wrong. Of course, I'm not always right, but I was like, yes, I believe them. I trust them. Like I want to work with them. And after, right after we talked to you, like we were 100% clear. Like this is what we want. So it was pretty much it. We felt pretty comfortable because the program seems like very easy when you explain to us, and that everything what included too. Like not only like, okay, I will send you the program and now it's your thing. No, like having a group chat, like Facebook and everything, like it was what we needed. Like having more people going through the same situation, getting to ask you, like it was like really quick. Like every time we had a question, we would ask you and we would have an answer like maybe the next day or the next hours. So that was nice too. Well, yeah, it was almost everything, like the amount of forms, like I want 30, like my information, like his information, like everything. It was like way too much for us to handle without the program. Oh, I was only thinking about the green card. Like I didn't even think about like more. I was like, okay, this is what I want right now. And my main reason was, of course, to be able to leave the country because I was like so scared. I was like, what if something happens at home and I'm not there? Like it was so overwhelming. Like I was so stressed. I was so close to just leave. I was like, you know what? I don't care. Like my family, I want to be with my family, but he's my family too. So it was so hard. So yeah, it was everything. I think it was overwhelming, like trying to organize all the information, like all the paperwork, the evidence, like everything, because yeah, we need evidence, but what's the evidence? Like I don't know. It was everything was overwhelming. So it was so nice to have a program like to follow step by step. And I'm very organized with everything. So this was like perfect for me. Like step one, okay, and then explaining. And it was like having you next to us, reading everything and helping us to like complete the forms. Wow, it's not only like, okay, you're done with your green card, bye. It was a really nice to meet you. Like, no, it was more than that. We were like, wow, this program is like really complete. We're going to do it like everything, even like traveling, because it's not like you get your green card and you finished. Like it's also there's another part where you can see, okay, now you got your green card. What to do if you want to travel? Like what do you need? Yeah, so yeah, it was very complete. Every time we had a question, it was right there. And if not, if we, because sometimes the information is there, but you still have like questions like, oh, is this really that simple? So we would ask you and everything was fine. So it did take us a month because it was like slow. No, it took us a month because I'm afraid of needles and I had to get my blood sample and that was a nightmare. I was like, okay, no, next week, next week, next week. Oh my God. Like that was the last thing that I did. It was basically it because the doctor, I went there, they had everything like so quick. And then his assistant called me saying like, okay, everything is done. Like you're ready to go. So I only need what's last is the blood samples. And I was like, okay, so I have to do it. Like if I don't do it this week, I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow. But I think all the paperwork, it was basically done in like 2 weeks, but it took us more because I was like so scared. Yes, so we shipped everything on June 7th. They received it June 9th, and then I had my biometric schedules on June 16th. So it was pretty quick. The work permit took like, I want to say 2 weeks right after the biometrics.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I got it in July. So like the first week of July. So it took, yeah, like 2 weeks. So after I got my work permit approved, like we stopped getting notifications, like, I mean, good news, like approvals. So that's the period that was kind of like frustrated. And then my mom came to visit. So I kind of forgot about it. I was like, okay, it is what it is. She's here. I'm gonna have fun. And that made us like feel better about it. Like, okay, we're not in a hurry, like it's okay. But and we even tried to like stop checking USCIS. Actually, Chris didn't even have access to it. It was only me because he was like, if I have access, like I'm gonna check it like every single day. So we decided, okay, I will let you know if I get anything, a text message, an email or something. So it was very frustrating because, yeah, we could see all these cases approved in like, oh, 59 days. I was like, I'm so happy for them. But why? Like, we have been together for so long. And well, we started thinking like maybe it's just like it's more paperwork and it's taking longer. We didn't know the reason, we still don't know the reason. But yeah. And then I think it was so last time it was the car delivered in August and until May 1st, 2024, that's when we got my travel permit approved. I was very happy. I was actually, oh, I might go into Chile and visit my family like next month. Like I was so ready. I sent my friends like the good news. Like I was so excited. And it was funny because it took me a few days to tell my friends. And I told them on May 6th in the morning, 3rd, I think it was. So I told them, yeah, the 6th. I sent him messages like, "Oh my God, guys, I have like really good news. My travel permit got approved." That was in the morning. That was in the morning. Like 3 hours later, I get a text message from USCIS, and I was like, "Yes, it's approved. Like this process is over." Like I was so happy. Like really, really happy, excited. Like I click on it, check my account, and I read that we were like scheduled for the interview, and I was like, what? What? Like I freaked out. I started like crying. I was like sobbing. Like I was basically crying and sobbing because it was so frustrated. Like that's the feeling that I had in that moment. I was like, it wasn't sadness. It was like why? Why do we have to go through this interview? Like it was overwhelming, even though I was like, I know the relationship is real and everything, and we have been together for so long, but still thinking about the date, the night before, like everything, I was like, no, I don't want to do this. And then I called Chris, and he was like, well, it's okay. Like, we're one step closer. I know he was very stressed about it too, but he was like, we're almost there. Like, it's the last step. And then, like, I posted my rant, and you commented the same thing. Like, guys, you guys are almost done. Like, you're right there. It's the final part. So, like, you should relax, and even if the officer is not nice, it's their job. Before the interview, yeah, like I would wake up in the middle of the night, like my hands, I had like an allergy, like a rash in my wrist, and then like my head, I was constantly like scratching my head, and Chris was like, stop, you're doing it again. I was like, oh, I think like I'm so stressed, and I would like cry, and obviously like looking some information, like what type of questions, like. And I was like, we know a lot about each other, like, but sometimes when you're like in a long relationship, sometimes you forget like even like small details, like when he asked me, okay, how many tattoos I have, I was like, I'm not even sure, like because I see you every day, so now I don't even remember. So yeah, all those details.
How was the interview? How easy was it?
Oh, it was really nice. Like even the night before, the day before the interview, like in my imagination, of course, I was like, I'm not going to be able to sleep. Like it was like 9 and I was sleeping already. And I
Wow.
had like a really good night. It was probably like due to all the yoga and walking that I was doing.
Yeah.
So it was really relaxing. I woke up and I got kind of like anxious when I was waiting because we had it at 1. And I was like, it shouldn't be like early in the morning just to wake up and go. But we were like, okay. So we were like kind of like waiting on the couch, talking, and like, what do we do? Like,
Yeah.
and once we got there, like they were so nice, so kind. Like the people like from security, they were like, "Oh, my wife wants to do that. Like it's pretty easy." Like actually, they thought I was doing my naturalization because they were like, "Oh, the questions are not hard. Like don't get stressed about it." And they were like, "Yeah, and it's pretty quick." And then the lady in the front desk, she was like, "Oh, just relax," because like they asked for or not disappointment. And Chris was kind of like shaking and looking through all the like the paperwork. And they were like, "Oh, come down, take your time. There's some water if you want to drink some water. You can just wait there." And and we saw a lady that called a couple, but she was like, "No, the wife first." So we were like, "Okay, this is the way it's gonna be. We're not doing it together." And then when I heard my name, and this guy, like really nice guy, opens the door, and he was like really like kind. He was like, "Oh, come on, guys. It's more like talking, like not like it's an interview, but it's still talking. I'm gonna ask some questions." He explained the format of the interview, like step by step. So he was pretty clear and really, really nice. I want to say like maybe 20 minutes
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because once we left, there was a lady outside and she was like, "Oh my God, that was so quick." And I was like, "You didn't feel like it." And Chris was like, "Yeah, it was short because we basically told him about our timeline." That's what he asked us, like the timeline when we got engaged. And when we were telling the story, we kind of like overshared a lot of information that he didn't ask. And we were like, okay, she said, answer only what you can ask. But we share a lot of information. And that's why he didn't ask much because we told him about like when we met, how we met, and then when I flew to Hawaii, and then that I was like back and forth for a couple of years. Then we got engaged. We told him about the fiance visa too, and then when we decided to get married and everything. So yeah, it was pretty simple. Then he read some questions from Form I-485. He read like six questions, and that was it. And then we checked Chris' form, I-130, and he asked him about his previous marriages and like kind of like wanted to know about like a timeline, same thing. And he was like, okay, that's pretty much it. And I think the nice part that we thought it would be like, oh my God, so annoying. It was the evidence because we were like, oh, look at the pictures. Oh, so cute. Oh, I forgot we went to this place or we went to that concert. So it was like really, really nice. Oh yeah, yeah. I felt like really, I felt great when I found out that there were more people going through the same process, even though I know they're like thousands, millions going through that. But it was really nice to get to talk like, oh, when do you send your case? Okay, or how long did it take? And people like just saying like, okay, you will be fine and it's gonna be okay, like knowing that they went through the same process. And it was nice you have that type of support. So yeah, like yeah, the program, like I would totally recommend it because it was like really easy to use. Chris and I have like different personalities, so and it worked for both of us. Like he has ADHD, so it's kind of hard for him like to kind of like be in one thing at a time. And he made it because he was everything so simple, so organized. The same about me. Like we were just like reading the forms, following your program and everything. So yeah, it was pretty easy and
That's
simple.
nice.
So yeah. Oh yeah, that's also something that we were like the phone calls, the Zoom meetings, because like every time we had questions, like I would just like log in every Wednesday and it was pretty easy, like pretty clear. And even having more people to talk about it, you could like clarify your own questions, and also having someone like that you can look at and talk, not only like an email or a phone call. Like we felt very supported through the whole process. I think it's easy to just do it by yourself, having guidance. I know there are like books or stuff that they sell out there because a friend of mine did it that way. So I think she bought like a PDF or something like that, and she followed the instructions, but it was only her, like her partner didn't do anything. He was like, I have no idea what you're doing. I can pay the fees. Tell me what you need and just do it. But for me, I was like, no, when she told me about this PDF program, I was like, no, that's not gonna work for us because I'm gonna have a lot of questions. Like I always have questions about everything. Like I kind of like overthink, is this, is that, especially for something so important that a big mistake or small mistake can change everything in the process. So for me, it was very easy. I would totally recommend doing it with you, not hiring a lawyer, because it's gonna take more time if you hire a lawyer. This one, you can just organize your time. It's not like you have that pressure too. I mean, it's your own timing. So yeah, I really like the program. I love it.